Good morning. My name is Arshima and today I will be making 5 oral presentations. In my first speech, I will be introducing Natalie Portman at the 50th anniversary of the United Nations Environment Programme to address a group of 800 to 1,000 people between the ages 18 and 60 years. Good morning, everyone. I am Arshima, today's host for the UN Environment Programme's 50th anniversary. Today's guest is someone very special. She is the epitome of be the change that you wish to see in the world. She is an Israeli-born American actress, director, producer, philanthropist, and activist. She has been prolific in film ever since she was a teenager. She has starred in blockbusters and also played various roles such as that of a powerful woman, a troubled person, and even appeared in independent films for which she has received various accolades, including an Academy Award and 2 Golden Globe Awards. As if these achievements weren't impressive enough, this talented woman also has a degree in psychology from Harvard University, which she pursued all while filming for the Star Wars prequel trilogy. She has supported anti-poverty activities and visited several university campuses, including Harvard, UCLA, Stanford, and Columbia University, to inspire students the power of microfinance and to encourage them to join the village banking campaign in order to help families and communities lift themselves out of poverty. This young woman is vocal about politics and is also an advocate for animal rights and environmental causes. She is so passionate about climate change and the welfare of our environment that she even was a member of the World Petrol Kids, a children's environmental pop group who even knew something so unique even existed. I, for one, absolutely did not. It's no lie that this wonderful person certainly believes in being the change that you wish to see in the world. Now, without much further ado, I would like to welcome on stage the one and only Miss Natalie Portman. Thank you so much for those empowering words, Ms. Portman. It is truly an honor to be here. I, along with everyone present here today, am absolutely elated to hear you speak in person. Not only do you preach and spread awareness about what you believe in, but you also diligently practice it yourself. I mean, it's so remarkable that it's been years since you stopped using products that indulge in animal cruelty and even launched your own brand of animal-friendly footwear in 2007. Furthermore, in your quest for bettering the environment, I couldn't agree more when you spoke about how fast climate change is happening and why standing idle on the sidelines would be the biggest mistake in human history. As scary and alarming as it sounds, it also offers hope for all of us present here today, because we humans actually do have the power to make changes and the required tools to put an effective plan to action. After all, we don't want these changes made by 2050, 2030, or even 2022. We want the environment, the planet, and its people to be saved now. That is what is the need of the hour. Ms. Portman, your speech was one that will always continue to inspire and motivate us to keep learning. I, along with all the members of the UN Environment Programme, would like to wish you all the best for your future campaigns. Thank you. work harder whenever needed. Today, we went out there and showed everyone what teamwork is. We went out there, gave our best, and won. And I would like to share this wonderful achievement of ours with our coaches, managers, sponsors, and our parents. Coach, I speak on behalf of everyone here today when I say that had it not been for your punctuality and such strict discipline, which at the time literally made us cry, we would not have won. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your help, support, guidance, and encouragement. This truly would not have been possible without the presence of each and every one of you. Yes, Anya, even you as well. Although your timing in the beginning was that of baby turtle, you were actually the one who ended up winning the 100-meter relay. And I've got to say that we were utterly baffled. But looking back, you certainly earned it. But with all the time, pain, and effort you put in, that we all put in to be able to stand here in victory. The thing that I'm most proud of from what we accomplished today is the progress that we made since last year when we began training. You know, the last couple of swimmings we had, we lost, and quite badly, might I add. But the most important thing is that we rose right back up, and after giving it 110%, especially the last 2 months, we really killed it this time. This just goes to show you that when we push our limits, we can accomplish anything. After all, failure is not the opposite of success. It is simply a part of it. So big congratulations to all of you, and here's to the best team that anyone could ever ask. Thank you. My next speech is a news feature told twice to the listeners. First, for a serious news program, and then for an entertainment channel with the audience being the listeners tuning in. Good morning, Pune. This is Arshima live on 92.7 Big FM, bringing you the latest update on the United States. Let us begin with an update on raising the US minimum wage. What just happened and what's next now? It was a major plank of the Democratic plan to build back better, raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour as a way of boosting the economy during the pandemic and tackling poverty and income inequality. But the much-wanted plan hit a roadblock in the US Senate, which has knocked the proposal sideways. So, what just happened? And is this game for the $15 minimum wage over? The idea of pushing up the minimum wage in stages to $15 an hour by the year 2025 was included in Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package that seeks to support vaccine distribution and an extension of unemployment benefit. The minimum wage element of the bill was a very big deal. It would increase the incomes of 27 million Americans, with almost 1 million people lifted out of poverty. If only the Senate officials did not rule the plan for a $15 minimum wage cannot be passed with only a simple majority. Amid the plethora of next possible steps, one thing is certain: the push for a decent minimum wage is not over. In the past 8 years, the push for a decent minimum wage has snowballed across the US and Not only is he extremely intelligent and not only is he extraordinarily intelligent about experimental psychology, which is his primary field, but he's also an absolute genius in most areas of life. Be the best way to brew your coffee or the latest technology used in automobiles. He unequivocally knows it all. Yes, as most of you would have guessed, I'm talking about none other than Mr. Sidney Atkins, the mysterious man Mental abuse and victim blames amongst many other issues too. And sadly, when they come up with their issues, hardly anyone listens. Both men and women should feel free to be strong, and both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. It is time that we all perceive gender on a spectrum rather than two opposing sets of ideas that are competing against each other. The basis to combat inequality is education, respect, human expression, and communication. For it is through these aspects that people can be made aware about the struggles of an unequal life. In the words of Gloria Steinem, I would like to say that each of us has only one thing to gain from the feminist movement, and that is our whole humanity. Thank you. I will now be moving on to my reflection task. How I built my performance program. Was there a starting point? Like every journey has a starting point, my ATCL preparation also had a starting point. After I finished my grade 8 oral communication exam, I began my preparation for the ATCL by introspecting which of the 5 speeches out of the 7 I can perform my best, portray my matter best, and ultimately put forth my best foot forward. In the end, I chose the 5 speeches which actually connected with me. Throughout the entire preparation, I just had one objective in mind, and that was to mean what you say and say what you mean. When I read the words "persuasive speech on a moral issue," I immediately knew that I wanted to deliver a speech based on feminism. Since I felt so strongly about this topic, I chose this as my last speech because I wanted to end in an impactful manner and leave the audience with an important message to walk away with. This was my way of giving the audience a wake-up call. In terms of delivery, I chose the introduction and appreciation of the speaker as my first speech. I did so as environmentalism is yet another aspect I truly feel is the need of the hour, and also because this was the only speech having the element of surprise present in it when introducing the speaker in the first half of the speech. Were there any external influences, either artistically or in the social context? External influences played a major role in all my 5 speeches. Since all my 5 speeches were a reflection of who I am, what I'm passionate about, or what I'm interested in, they all had at least some external influence from my life. For instance, in my farewell speech, it was because of my love for psychology that I chose the American Psychological Association Convention 2021 as the event for my speech. Furthermore, the 2 people that I bid farewell to in this speech were both inspired from the beginning of my high school years when I was in Dubai. There, my principal's name was Miss Nardish Kambada, who is an excellent orator and always delivered the most engaging speeches ever. I also had an English teacher named Mr. Sidney Atkins. As a matter of fact, it was he who encouraged me to give the oral communication exams from Trinity College, London, which I have been giving since I was in grade 5. So I'm really thankful to him. In my persuasive speech, external influences were present as well, but in a social context. This is because inequality is prevalent all over the world. And although I am born in a progressive family that is open to me choosing my own life choices, there are still plenty of people around the world, millions and millions of people, who are robbed of opportunities, choices, and even basic human rights solely because of this gender. Hence, through this speech of mine, I hope to have eradicated the myths, stigma, and misinformation associated with feminism. I also wanted to highlight the grave repercussions that the ignorance to this might result in. Lastly, for my third speech, external influences played a huge role. In my new speech, I spoke about raising the US minimum wage during The pandemic being the most talked about thing for almost 2 years now just had to be mentioned in this speech. How did you plan? Planning all my 5 speeches was a fun and insightful process. Saying that it was interesting would be an absolute understatement. I took help from my parents, teachers, peers, and also used reliable sources from the internet so as to avoid any confusion and spread of misinformation. In terms of planning, timing played a huge role in all my speeches. After crafting my speeches, I made sure to time each speech and then I retimed it again with the help of the PowerPoint presentation along with the audio and visual effects that I had added. These technical skills helped in making my speech even more interesting and engaging for the audience. How do you create balance and variety for the audience? In order to create balance and variety for the audience, I tried to vary the event, the size of the audience and the composition along with their ages so as to make my speeches more impactful. I did not want the audience present to get bored. Although the audience weren't present in real life, I wanted to make sure that my speeches were a reflection of who I am and were presented in a realistic manner, as realistic as possible in fact. So to create balance and variety, an example would be of me using different events. For instance, in my first speech where I introduced Ms. Natalie Portman and thanked her, I used a formal event which was the United Nations Environment Program. From there, I directly moved on to my after-dinner speech. Over here, I addressed my swim members. I addressed my swim team's members, along with the coaches and managers that were present. This was one speech which allowed me to speak in a relatively informal manner as I was already familiar with the audience that I was addressing. Apart from this, the audience also varied for all my speeches. For instance, in my first speech, where I introduced Ms. Natalie Portman, I spoke to 800 to 1,000 people present in the audience. From there, I directly moved on to my second speech, which was my after-dinner speech. In this speech, I had 70 people present in the audience. This allowed me to showcase a very significant contrast in terms of vocal dynamics, voice modulation, and engagement with the audience. Did you do any research to gain a greater understanding of the writer, composer, language, or genre? Research played a significant role in all my 5 speeches, more so than I can even express. I did sufficient research to construct all my 5 speeches. I used reliable sources from websites such as BBC, CNN, ResearchGate, Microsoft Academic, and I even used newspaper articles from those such as the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the Times of India. These newspaper articles were especially beneficial for me on stage, I made sure to arrange all my props and violins in such a manner where everything is organized and clearly seen for me and for the audience present. I also added the technical skills, and this helped me to make my speeches even more interesting. In terms of staging, I also used a podium for two of my speeches, which included the farewell speech and the introduction and appreciation of the speaker's speech. So as to create some more balance and variety for all my 5 speeches, I also used the chair for the third speech, which was my new feature speech. What have I discovered by working through the challenge? By working through the challenge, I have discovered the power and the importance of body language. Without having the correct body language, which includes standing straight with your shoulders pulled back, maintaining eye contact with the audience, and making your speeches interesting, and talking as if you actually mean what you say, your speeches cannot be delivered in an effective manner. And these were all lessons that I learned while I faced various challenges throughout my preparation for the ATCL. I also realized that we all are much stronger than what we give ourselves credit for. I remember initially when I started preparing for the ATCL exam, everything was online, the pandemic conditions were pretty severe, and I couldn't come to physical practice. But as soon as the COVID conditions eased, I made sure to make a timetable for myself, dedicate at least 2 hours of daily practice, record myself so that I can understand and learn from my mistakes, and I also made sure to pay very, very close attention to the feedback that I received from my teachers and peers. This helped me deliver my speeches in a confident manner and overcome all the challenges that I faced, be it not being able to focus properly or be it exceeding the 25-minute time limit. How would you approach a similar challenge again? If I had to approach such similar challenges again, I would make sure that I pace myself in terms of structuring my speeches and timing my speeches, because initially this created some chaos in my preparation. I also made use of a certain Italian technique known as the Pomodoro technique. This is something which I discovered after doing a lot of research. Since to successfully tackle any challenge, you need to be committed and focused. You also need to be organized. And while practicing my speeches, I realized that focus is something that I was lacking when it came to practicing for prolonged periods of time. So when it came to actually finding a solution for this, I went on Google and researched time management techniques. It was the Pomodoro technique which actually stood out to me. This Italian technique is actually a time management technique where you practice for 25 minutes. So what you essentially do is you take a task, practice it for 25 minutes, set a timer, work until the timer goes off, and then take a 5-minute break. This speech played a pivotal role in the rehearsal of my speeches, and it's something that I wish I had discovered before. Since I had some trouble focusing initially, I did overcome this towards the end, since I had more than 6 months of practice. And apart from this, making a timetable and organizing myself, along with paying attention to the feedback that I received even from my friends, played a significant role and was very important to me throughout my journey while preparing for the ATCL. What personal strengths or limitations have you noticed in the process? Throughout the process of preparing for this exam, I have noticed my strengths, I have discovered my weaknesses as well. My strengths include perseverance, dedication, and being passionate about all that I say. Since my initial aim itself, since the beginning of this exam, was to mean what I say and say what I mean, I made sure that I chose topics which actually resonated with me, or the topics which were actually a reflection of who I am or what I'm interested in. This was a really big advantage for me because this helped me connect with the audience and emote through my speeches. In terms of limitations, I had quite a few weaknesses that I discovered, apart from be it not being able to focus for long periods of time or exceeding the 25-minute time limit initially when I was delivering my speeches. I realized that not giving up and taking care of your mental health is a big thing which often that I'm making the starting and ending of each word crisp and clear. Furthermore, differentiating between vowels and exaggerating each consonant also help me through this. In terms of health and safety, I realized a lot of things. In terms of safe practice on stage, this was something which was immensely crucial for my ATCL preparation. Due to the given pandemic and the conditions that were prevalent, especially in India, safety precautions was something which could not be compromised upon at any given point throughout my preparation. I wore a mask at all times, sanitized the props, and made sure that I'm also taking care. I made sure that I'm also taking care of who I'm around. I made sure to do this because not only did this affect my health and safety, but this was a question of well-being and safety for everyone around me. Because of this, I made sure that I don't mess up in terms of health and safety. I knew that this was one factor which could make or break my performance. For safe practice on stage, I also had to keep one factor in mind, and that was ensuring that all the props are kept in an organized manner. Since I was also making use of the podium and the chair for two of my speeches, namely the farewell speech and the new speeches respectively, I had to make sure that both these props were also clean and organized in a manner where I don't trip or cause any injuries. In terms of working with an audience, since I spoke about speeches and topics that I was actually interested in, I realized that working with an audience just became more interesting and fun for me. Although I didn't have the privilege of working with an actual live audience, I made sure that I can relate to the audience and imagine them as though they were actually there. For instance, in my new feature speech, I spoke to people by sitting on the chair as though they were actually there. For some of my speeches, like the after dinner speech, I also tried to relate it to my actual life. I say this as I was my swim team's captain in high school. Hence, I actually imagine my team members, my coaches, and my sponsors actually being present there. This aided in helping me make my speech even more authentic and realistic. Not only did it make the speeches more realistic, but I also enjoyed the process of delivering my speeches when I was practicing for this exam. Physical and vocal health. In terms of physical and vocal health, I made sure to drink plenty of warm water, exercise 3 times a week, and inhale steam. Weirdly enough, inhaling steam was very crucial for me because I have severe dust allergies. And so as to not let this affect my performance, and apart from this, the COVID conditions were also there, I made sure that I took very good care of my health. I had multivitamins, I took deep breaths before starting the delivery of my speeches, and simply made sure that I'm confident and energetic when I go up on stage for my exam. Sustaining focus and energy. Since I had to give 5 oral presentations in the span of just 25 minutes, breathing was a very important factor since the time I began my journey. I paid attention to this and kept this in mind at all times of practicing by enunciating better, taking support from the diaphragm and using the muscles present in my stomach so as to support myself while I breathe. This helped me be clear and confident while delivering my speeches, all the while helping me not lose focus and get tired. Hence, this was extremely beneficial when it came to focusing better for my speeches and delivering my speeches in a manner where I'm extremely comfortable. Because if your breathing is not comfortable, or if you're not able to speak because if you're not able to speak for a long period of time, then the delivery of your speech gets affected because you're not able to modulate and control your voice in a proper manner. Hence, I made sure to keep this in mind throughout my journey. was able to get through this journey of mine. I'm not going to lie, the ATCL was a rigorous journey, but it's one